All right, let's dive into the world of rocket artillery, a game changer on today's battlefields. The M142 HIMARS has been stealing the spotlight lately, proving itself a vital asset for Ukrainian forces as they disrupt the ambitions of Russian commanders. The sleek system has been pivotal in shifting the tides of conflict, and today we're unpacking how it's making waves in Ukraine, alongside the potential of the ATACMS to reshape the war's trajectory. So, grab a cuppa and let's get into it. The HIMARS, or High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, is a mobile marvel crafted for the US Army back in the 90s. Think of it as a meaner cousin to the M270 MLRs. While the M270 rumbles along on tracks, the M142 is perched on a nimble 5-ton truck chassis, making it sprightly and versatile. It carries a single pod that can fire 6 GMLRS missiles, or 1 ATACMS, compared to the M270's heftier load of 12 GMLRs, or 2 ATACMS. What's clever is that the ammo pods are interchangeable between the two systems, no extra tinkering needed. By early 2016, Lockheed Martin boasted that HIMARS had clocked over 1 million operational hours with the US military, maintaining a cracking 99% readiness rate. That's the kind of reliability you want in a scrap. This system's been battle-tested across the globe. Back in 2012, during Operation Moshtarak in Afghanistan, HIMARS missiles smashed Taliban targets in Marja, helping clear out their last bastion in Helmand. Fast forward to 2015, and it was hammering ISIS positions in Iraq, lobbing over 400 rockets since the summer. By 2016, reports surfaced of HIMARS striking Islamic State targets near the Turkish-Syrian border, and later that year it played a starring role in the Battle of Mosul, helping liberate the city from ISIS grip. In 2017, it supported Syrian rebel forces in Al-Tanf, and in 2018, it made headlines in Afghanistan again, wiping out 50 Taliban fighters in Musa Qala in a mere 14 seconds with just 3 rockets. That's precision firepower for you. The same year, it teamed up with Syrian Democratic Forces to pound ISIS in the Omar oil fields. But its defining moment, that came in 2022, when it roared into action in Ukraine. When Russia launched its invasion, HIMARS became a lifeline for Ukrainian troops. The US, alongside allies, supplied dozens of M142S and M270S, with an extra 18 HIMARS pledged in a hefty $1.1 billion aid package. In Ukrainian hands, these launchers, firing 200-pound warheads up to 50 miles, flipped the script on Russia's numerical edge. A former US Army commander put it bluntly, "One HIMARS missile can do the work of hundreds of artillery shells." The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, noted that Ukrainian forces hit over 400 Russian targets with HIMARS, from command posts to ammo dumps. Ukrainian soldiers picked up the system's controls in no time, using it to unleash devastating barrages that obliterated enemy positions before they could scarper. Strikes on Russian supply lines, like the bridges around Kherson, crippled their logistics, while HIMARS helped liberate towns and save countless civilian lives. But to really turn the screw, Ukraine needed something with more reach, the ATACMS. While GMLRS missiles are deadly, their range tops out at about 100 miles, leaving deeper enemy targets untouchable. Enter the MGM-140 Army Tactical Missile System, or ATACMS, a Lockheed Martin creation that stretches strike range to several hundred miles. Development kicked off in the 80s, initially as a replacement for the MGM-52 Lance, with the US Air Force and Army pooling efforts. After some inter-service squabbles, the project settled as ATACMS, with the first test launch in 1988. It debuted in combat during Operation Desert Storm, where 32 missiles were fired from M270S. In Operation Iraqi Freedom, the US unleashed over 450, and by 2015 more than 560 had been used in action. What makes ATACMS sneaky is its disguise. Its launch container sports a pattern of 6 circles, identical to GMLRS pods, so enemies can't tell what's loaded without getting uncomfortably close. The ATACMS family isn't a one-trick pony either. The M39 Block 1 carries 950 M74 anti-personnel and anti-tank bomblets, with a range of 15 to 102 miles. It saw heavy use in Desert Storm and Iraqi Freedom. The M3901 Block 1A, GPS guided, dials back to 300 bomblets but extends to 186 miles. The M48 Quick Reaction Unit packs a 500-pound high-explosive warhead, repurposed from the Navy's Harpoon missile, with a 43 to 183 mile range. The M57, or ATACMS 2000, mirrors the M48's warhead and range, while the M57E1 upgrades the M39 series with better engines, navigation and a high explosive warhead, plus an airburst sensor for extra punch. Despite its prowess, ATACMS has a shelf life. In 2007, the US Army paused the program due to costs, halting new production and upgrades. By 2024, the Precision Strike Missile (PRSM) is set to take over, offering double the loadout, 2 PRSMs per pod versus 1 ATACMS, and a range beyond 310 miles, especially after the US ditched the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty in 2019. PRSMs are faster, farther-reaching and deadlier, but ATACMS still has a role to play, especially in Ukraine. If ATACMS lands in Ukrainian hands, it could be a game-changer, letting them hit Russian logistics deep behind the lines, think bridges, railways and bases. Some analysts reckon Ukraine's already used ATACMS in strikes on Crimea, though the White House hasn't confirmed it. And why would they? Tipping off the enemy isn't exactly strategic. Still, every major US weapons transfer to Ukraine faces a gauntlet of debate, with fears of escalating to World War III. The Biden administration's played it cautious, but it's made clear to Russia that nuclear threats won't end well for them. So what's the verdict? Can ATACMS tip the scales in Ukraine's favor? It's a tantalizing prospect. HIMARS has already proven its worth, and with longer-range missiles, Ukraine could keep Russian forces on the back foot, disrupting their plans and protecting more lives. The question isn't just if, but when and how many. The battlefield's evolving, and these systems are at the heart of it. If you're as gripped by this as I am, head over to Control Lost on YouTube, give us a subscribe, and hit that bell for more deep dives into the tech and tactics shaping modern warfare. Drop your thoughts below. Will ATACMS be the war's turning point? Let's hear it. Until next time, cheers.